Hi, Michelle and Sheldon. I wanted to give you some feedback on your submission relative to the Bostock versus Clayton County case that I assigned for you. First, I want to say I absolutely love the look, feel, energy, and style in which you used to put together your presentation. Um, I have not seen one that I think provides this level of engagement. Just the back and forth, the way you tag team with one another, it really reflects a high level of collaboration. And and I appreciate too the representation of the images that you chose on the opening slide relative to the emojis and the rainbow. The way the presentation was put together was really very nicely done. When I first looked at it, I had some serious concerns about the headline that you used because the headline appeared to me to be incongruent with the body of your message map. And I was really quite perplexed by that because as I continued to listen to your explanations of the case, the key points that you provided illumination of, it seemed as though you really understood that this holding was very clear in stating that anytime an employer discriminates against individuals because they are gay or transgender, then it is a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. I appreciated how you went through each section and going back and forth, talking about how Title VII protects employees. Sheldon, when you noted that it really is okay to go to your place of business and be yourself. You should have that right. I enjoyed the discussion. As you can see, I'm looking at my notes. I made so many notes during my listen of your presentation. You're right. The law is playing out right in front of us. But one of the things I want to clarify is the relationship between Title VII and Title IX. Title VII is protecting employees against discrimination. You had such a rich discussion around what's happening in Loudoun, and that really implicates Title IX laws because Title IX is protecting the same aspect of rights but for students. So as we continue to watch this case play out in Loudoun, we have to think about Title VII versus Title IX. Whose rights are at issue, considering that we always want to place priority on students' rights and keeping in mind the fact that public school employees are state actors and therefore have the responsibility to act in a neutral manner, prioritizing students' rights over their own preferences. I truly enjoyed the discussion that you had around textualism and how the court, they were really strictly interpreting just the text of the Title VII legislation. And Sheldon, your discussion back and forth about the literal meaning versus the interpreted meaning. But Michelle, I appreciate it. We're at minute 14.18. You really gave an example that honed in on the specifics of Title IX. When you talked about the one woman, one man example. And that example really showcases the fact that Title VII is set up to protect individuals and not groups, which tied in to what the two of you talked about relative to the textual interpretation of the law. You all did such a nice, a beautiful tag team. Let me see. Oh, one other thing I wanted to share with you is when you were talking about in key point number 2, the third section about whether religious organizations may be pressured to hire people that whose values or whose orientations are inconsistent with their religious teachings. I want you to keep in mind that there is a religious exception for Title VII, whereas organizations are able to give preference to members of their belief when hiring, particularly if the purpose of the organization is primarily religious in nature. Looking at your message map. So, circling all the way back to what I was saying about my concern initially relative to the incongruence between the body of your message map and the headline that you featured. It was in those closing minutes that I got clarity as to why you determined that, oh, these are gray situations. And you're absolutely right. They are gray situations in the minds of many because people are not sure what has priority in making decisions. Is it what I think as an individual, or is it what the law guides? How do we use the law in tandem with our ethical literacy to make decisions that are going to protect all kids? And so it was clear to me why you said hashtag gray situations. And for such a well done presentation, for providing clarity relative to the message, for unpacking the case with aplomb. I'm sure did I say that right? With high excellence. I am going to record a score of 100 because that is exactly what you have earned. You've done an excellent job with this assignment, the way that you interpreted the law, the way you've unpacked the case, and the way that you presented it for the benefit of all on the platform. So thanks very much and keep up the good work.